Good evening everyone, and welcome to the video update for Elite Encounters for 15th of February 2016. We got the agenda out rather early yesterday, which was nice, so yeah, without any further ado, we shall jump straight in. Just because I haven't started up my chat window thing, but you don't really need for this anyway, but it's always good to have it on just so I know who's about. Just give me a second, I'll pop it on quickly. Wait for it to pop up, and there we go. Right, so what we're up to today then. Hello Fluffy Bun, how you doing? I'm not going to talk to you right now because I'm in the middle of doing a stream. Well, I don't talk in this one, so yeah, we'll move straight on. So progress, we have managed to do stuff this week as well. We have chatted and had stuff going on, so everything's quite good. What we've managed to do, Colin hasn't been that well this week, so he's not managed to do much the last pretty much most of the week, but the last couple of days he has managed to get some stuff going on. Before he fell ill, he did some playtesting with the Clipper in a sort of big pitched battle, and said that it worked rather well. The Clipper took on an Eagle, some Sidewinders, and I think a Cobra as well. So given the size of the Clipper, it was a fairly close battle, and he thinks that was basically what he was looking for. So it looks like we've got a pretty good balance, which is one of the most important things to try and have when you're doing this kind of game. Make sure that you can reach a balance of the amount of points that you spend to build your side, if you like, and hopefully if you've got an equal amount of points, then you should be getting a roughly 50-50 split on which side wins, and it seems that that's actually happened quite well. So well done, Colin. What have I been doing? I've been trying to expand and fill out all the different weapon stats and the types of weapons that we can have. So I've been delving into the stats for all the different ships, and I've been hoarding the wiki and having a look at all the different stuff that's on there and trying to get a decent list and put them into the new format of stats. So rather than having about 8 or 9 different stats for each weapon, we now have 3 stats for the weapons. But they all have the different effects and different things that they can do, so we're trying to get that balanced so that if you are buying a more expensive weapon, then it is worth the money worth the points or money that you spend on it. And it seems to be working quite well, so I'm quite happy with that. We have introduced into the rule set the utility mounts because we hadn't done them before. We were concentrating on getting the internal modules and weapons and sort of basic default stuff all kitted out. Thank you for the host play, very much appreciated. But we hadn't done the utility mounted stuff, which are a mix of kind of defensive equipment and non-combat stuff. So we've included the defensive stuff into the mix there. Mostly effective against things like missiles and all that kind of stuff. So you've got your heat sink launcher was kind of one that fell in the middle. We didn't quite know what to do with that, but given that we have taken heat management out of the miniatures game and Starship Combat rules, we thought it was best not to include the heatsink launcher as a combat item. So we've included it as something to include into the RPG, but not as something we can have in the miniatures game. We have the ECM system, the point defense system, and the shield booster, which all have different effects and cost around about the same amount of points. So they're all very useful bits of kit, but they also have a detriment in that they require more power to use, they cost a lot of points to use, or there's only a limited range that you can use them with. I have also progressed and hopefully completed the full colour vehicle cards, a copy of which I did mean to stick on this slide, but I've actually forgotten to do that. What I can do, if you just bear with me 2 seconds, I shall go and grab a copy of that. Play amongst yourselves till I come back, I won't be long, because it's in my shared folder. So if I grab that. Ship card images. Okay, where's my thingy window? Add window capture. I have to open the picture first, Dave. Sorry about this. This is actually something that was it's quite an important thing to have a look at. So we'll have a look at it. So what we'll pick, we'll go for the Diamondback Scout because I like that ship. It's a lovely little ship. Back into OBS, pick a window, and pick that one. So there it is, there's your Diamondback Scout. That's essentially what the cards are going to look like. That's the full colour, black, not eco-friendly. We will use up all your printer ink if you want to print it off version, but remember we also have an eco-friendly version, which is the white backed ones, so that's the wrong keyboard. And they are still not redesigned, but there's not a lot of changes. You've all seen the white ones anyway in previous broadcasts, so I'm not going to show you all them again. But that's generally the way to look at. I've had Colin had a look at them today, and he's quite happy with the design, so that's good. It looks like we're coming towards the end of that. So yeah, quite happy with those. That's been kind of the biggest thing. That's been the kind of big worry for me at the moment, is that the graphics things are going to take a fair amount of time to do, and that's the bit I'm worried about with the book design. There's not a lot left to do in terms of actual text to put in there, other than putting in some of the stuff that people have submitted, and finishing off basically bits and pieces. Once the miniatures rules are done, the Starship Combat Simulator rules are done, and the counters are all done and all that kind of stuff, then we're fairly much done with the content. There's only a few little things that need to go in. So yeah, so we're quite happy with that, and hopefully we are moving swiftly on to the next thing. So once we've got that done, then we'll move on from there. So I apologise, my image seems to be taking up some of the my camera image seems to be taking up some of the text at the bottom of the screen. There's quite a lot of text in this week's update, so I'm going to put my video capture off for the moment, so bye for now, so you can all read what's going on. Right, so moving on from that, one of the things we're actually trying to look at is the expansion of the equipment list. Now this is relevant more to the RPG. Obviously there's an equipment list already in the RPG that does contain a lot of stuff that I worked on before. That's going to have to change in the way that it's structured, because as I said, rather than having 8 or 9 different stats for things, we are down to about 2, 3 or 4 depending on what bit of equipment it is. So we are, or I am, because this isn't really something that Colin's going to be doing alongside me. Once we've got, now that we have the general idea for the modules and how they're going to work, then I'm going to use a similar kind of idea for the rest of the equipment in the book. Hopefully we'll do little cardlet designs, which will have these stats on them and will be compatible and will be actually presented in the book, in the main text of the book, as cardlets that people can take the stats from and copy them onto the sheets, or they can actually just photocopy the page, cut it out and have it as a bit of changeable module. So that's quite cool. So yes, all the non-combat equipment that is currently in the miniature / Starship Combat Simulator is all critical damage only, but it will be put into the RPG. We, as in Colin and I, are still looking at the faction-specific weapons for one thing, and faction-specific other equipment will also be looked at, whether it should be put in the game, because it will be quite difficult to manage how that's distributed. I'm not sure text-wise how to put it in the book, so I'm giving that some thought at the moment, and then see where it goes from there. I keep saying we, when it comes to RPG stuff, which is what this is mainly about, is trying to work out the sort of base costs. I need to try and work out how these bits of equipment, how these cardlets and those essential bits and pieces can be modified for different galactic locales. So we're looking at different price ranges for core systems. The rarer the item is, then the more it'll cost. The further out the system, the further away from the core you get, things will be more expensive because they'll be more hard to find and all that sort of stuff. And then depending on the socio-economic state of the system, which is a big fancy word for a Monday, it'll obviously be difficult to get certain bits of equipment in anarchy worlds or communist states or non-technical areas, that kind of thing. So I'm having to take a look at how we can. I'm saying we again. I've been saying we because me and Colin for the last few weeks. It's just got right into my head. I need to take a look at how that's going to come into the RPG's list, and if it's going to work properly. It will work properly, I'm pretty sure it will. I just need to make sure that it's consistent through the book, which is probably the biggest bit of work. What I'm looking at as well is there's a lot of trimming to do, because there's a lot of stuff that's in the equipment list that really in hindsight isn't particularly necessary, and is something that, because of the very changeable nature of systems and the very changeable nature of the galaxy, could change. So I may be trying to introduce some kind of base cost for a type of equipment, So, for example, if we're going to include things like white goods, i.e., kitchen equipment like cookers and washing machines and the 33rd century equivalent of that sort of thing, then I may have a system of saying, right, okay, well, depending on the tech level it is, depending on how good it is, will depend on how much it costs. And that's pretty much all there is, because we don't need to go into a lot of detail about things like stats for washing machines. That's just getting silly. But there are areas of the book where I have started to do that kind of thing, and that's not necessary. It doesn't need to go in, and that's again one of the benefits of having a bit of a break over the Christmas period, is that I've had a look through and I've looked at this sort of stuff and I've thought this is just too bad, too much. So I'm going to take a look at streamlining that down. So yeah, again, more of the migration of content to the RPG. So following on from last week, we need to convert the ship stats over. And make sure that I can expand them out to meet what needs to be said and done in the RPG. So we need to have proper costs for everything rather than point costs. The good part of doing this, and again this comes from a previous discussion with Frontier as well, is about using a base cost for each ship or vehicle and modifying that depending on the location that ship is in, and again the socio-economic state of the planet or system and all that kind of stuff, to randomise it slightly so that it's not a fixed cost like it is in Elite Dangerous at the moment. There would be the opportunity to pick up ships cheaply. There would be second-hand dealers. There would be dodgy dealerships and all that kind of stuff where you can buy a ship and it might be used. It might be a ship that's been left sitting for too long. It might be a spanky new ship that's got a different AI in it, or oh, excuse me, and just take it from there and just give there a bit of variety in the way that ships can be bought and the prices that they will cost because of that. And again, I mentioned they're expanding the weapon and equipment stats. I'm not going to go into that again. And essentially include a bit more non-space vehicle specs, because we have focused a lot with the miniature / Starship combat stuff. Focus quite a lot on the ships, because that's what Colin's game's going to be about. It's going to be the ship combat, whereas I'm looking at a more universal vehicle combat concept. I have done some stats for vehicles. I've included the SRV into the list of little ships there. Let's see if I can pop it up on the screen just so you can have a look, because I'm just that kind of guy. Just let me pop up that window for a sec. Plop. There you go. Yes, I have a Scarab model as well, a Scarab card in there as well. It will also have its own little counter, and I'm not sure what else is going to be in there vehicle wise. I'm going to have top down views of custom designed vehicles if I have time to do it. Now this is one of the things about, there's going to be a bit of a deadline being imposed by Frontier at this stage to get the book out, which is fair enough. I'm nearly there, and Mike Brooks and I had a bit of a conversation about what was appropriate and what we could do, and even before he said that, I did have a conversation with myself that said much the same thing. My plan is to get the book out and released by LaveCon, basically, if not the start of that month. So Frontier's deadline on that is much the same. That was quite a good thing. So there you go. That's probably a bit of an announcement there, is that there is now a deadline where it'll be out for. So fingers crossed, and the gods all willing, you will be seeing this book on virtual shelves in July sometime. But yes, so as I say, one of the things I'm looking at is I'm not going to have the time or the facilities or the creative ability at the moment to try and draw hundreds of vehicles and top-down views and counters of all these vehicles and all these different cards are going to go with them. I'm going to include what's in the game. I'm going to maybe put 2 or 3 examples of different things and then put them in. They will all be hand-drawn. They may not be the best artistic things in the world, but that's one of the problems I have, is essentially if I'm drawing everything, it'll be my drawing style, and if people like my drawing style, fair enough. If not, also fair enough. It's a free country. Right, so that's essentially it. It says there non-space vehicle specs as well. The book will include specs for different sorts of vehicle as well, so you'll be able to design or come up with your own kind of things on there as well. So there's that. Right, upcoming events. This is kind of expanded slightly because there's a lot of stuff going on in the next few weeks that have kind of came to light in the last couple of days. The first of them, as has been released today on Frontier's community site, is Monday Night Mayhem. Frontier are doing a community event over the next month. Monday Night Mayhem is from tomorrow, the 16th of March, up to the 16th of February to the 15th of March. There will be CQC events all through that month. There's an itinerary on the website. I'll show you the link in a second. And I will be filling in Monday Night Mayhem. So my regular Monday night stream will be given over to CQC for that month. Now the only exception to that might be the coming next week, because I've had a bereavement in the family. My granddad died on Saturday, so I may have to go to Scotland on Monday. So I may not be around for the Monday night one this week, but I will be there for the 3 weeks after that, definitely. So I'll keep you posted on what's happening with that. So after that, we have, oops, the wrong keyboard, the Pratchett Pilgrimage 2016, which is a repeat of last year's pilgrimage at the Pratchett's Disc in memory of Terry Pratchett. It has been a year since he died, on the 12th of March, which luckily for us is a Saturday. So I'll be doing the repeat journey. I'll be starting at 12 o'clock on the 12th and flying out to Pratchett's Disc. I'll probably be using my second account, because my primary account is halfway across, well, it's 1700 light years away and going out the way, so it's all going the wrong way. And I don't think I'm going to get back in a month. So essentially, I'm going to be doing that as part of a Saturday. So that will be actually on the day that he sadly died, and I hope you'll join me for it. Okay, that's all the big graphics I've got. So the upcoming events full list is with CQC Mayhem, 16th of February to 15th of March, community.elitedangerous.com/CQC Mayhem to get the entire calendar. There's a lot of stuff going on, so nip on there and hopefully you'll see something you like, or someone you like, other than just me. Because of course I'll be doing it at the same time as I usually do, if people let me. The Pratchett's Disc Pilgrimage, Saturday 12th of March, 12 PM. Mad Dog and Kate Click are raising money for the Mankind Initiative, which is a charity that's been set up. It's the only charity that exists apparently to help male victims of domestic violence. Not something that gets in the papers very often, not something that gets a lot of media attention, but it is something that does happen, and it's just as bad, if not worse than. I'm not going to say it's not worse. It's just as bad as domestic violence against women. Domestic violence against anyone is absolutely no. Just don't, because I will stab you in the bollocks or whatever if you do that kind of thing. That's my view. You don't have to agree with me. These views are the opinion of the streamer, not necessarily the company he works for. So yes, join Mad Dog and Kate Click on the 13th of March for Gamers for Mankind. More information about that will be coming up. If you want to know more about it right away, then please get in touch with Mad Dog or Kate Click and let them know you're interested. Elite Meet, as I said last week, Elite Meet, I got the dates wrong. It's the April the 2nd at the Red Horse Hotel in Glasgow. A one-day event on the Saturday. It will be a lot of fun. Psycho Cow, or Grant as we call him when he's not online, is organising RPG sessions that day as well. I'm pretty sure now that I'm not going to be going, because if we're going to have to go up to Scotland for the funeral next week, then that's going to take away all of the spare budget that we had for doing Elite Meet. So it's looking really bad that we're going now. Financially, we just can't do a trip up this month, and then a trip up in April, and then a trip up in July, a trip sort of away in July as well, because we're still trying to recover from the period where I swapped jobs and the pay went a bit strange. So yes, apologies for that, but go if you want to go. If you want to see the RPG, it's a great place to see it, because in that condition it'll be almost done, hopefully, so you should be able to see something that's going on there. I'm going to try and push out some of these Starship Combat rules and see if anybody wants them. So yes, so LaveCon I will be at, hopefully, for July the 16th and 17th at the Sedgebrook Hall Hotel in Northampton. Please be there if you can, and and we should hopefully all be there and play. So okay, that's it, I'm done. I've run on a bit longer than I thought, but thank you for joining me. There's been quite a lot of people watching this, so thank you for watching, guys. Next update will be next Monday at the same time. So we'll have Monday 22nd of February 8 PM UK time. If you have any comments, questions or feedback about this broadcast or any previous updates about Elite Encounters, then please get them to me by Monday by 6 and I'll talk about them in the broadcast. Again this week, no feedback. You're all very quiet people, apart from a very kind person saying that yeah, you're looking forward to it. Who is he here? I don't know, he might be, but anyway. Yes, so that's it for this week's update. Join me next week for another update and thank you for watching. Goodbye. Oh, flippin' heck, I left the bloody picture on, didn't I? Thanks for telling me, guys. Went through a whole load of pictures there. You didn't even see them, so I'll just quickly go through them again. So, there's the Monday Night Mayhem picture. Isn't it lovely? There's the Pratchett Pilgrimage picture. Isn't it lovely as well? And there's all the upcoming events. I'll leave that on while I sign off. Thank you for watching, and good night.